Coach Royal told me you had to be number one or better. We need visibility, and it's always hard. Well, is it the chicken or the egg? The College World Series in softball, it had more viewers than even the men's College World Series. If people take interest and if they follow the sport and we expose people to what women's sports is about, then we can grow it.
Hey folks, Mr. Bowtie here. Keep banging home that red subscribe button on your screen so that way you can stay up to date on all the great local sports coverage that TV and radio refuse to cover. Thank you so much and enjoy the show. One of the signature events at the Texas High School Coaching Association's coaching convention was the Women in Coaching panel discussion. Moderated by UIL Athletic Director Susan Elza, it featured 10 women in sports coaching that shared their experiences throughout the industry, both with Title IX as well as coaching. Jody Conradt, Chris Plonsky, Silvia Salinas, and Triva Corrales were among the many speakers at the forum that was very inspiring and showed how women's coaching and women in sports has progressed and what still needs to be done.
The first women's coordinator at the collegiate level at UT Arlington, and then that led me to the University of Texas at Austin coaching, and that's why you do it. And my passion now is about providing opportunities. I looked out at the audience, I saw so many young people and inspired by the fact that they're passionate about coaching. It takes a passion, it takes a fire, it takes intensity to do a really hard job, and it's an important job, and I was just so impressed to see the energy and the enthusiasm of this group to continue to influence young people.
I have so much love, respect, and admiration for Coach Conrad, and just think about what she's done for our game, the impact that she's had on our game throughout her career, and then the impact she's had on so many, young women. Like I said, I'm honored and humbled to be a part of a program that, let's face it, she's built.
At Dallas Skyline, went to Northwestern State. I coached there for a couple years and then returned to Dallas. I also coached at W.T. White High School in Dallas, and then got promoted to an assistant director in 2004. So stayed in that position for 15 years, and then recently was promoted to executive director of athletics for Dallas ISD, the first female.
I think people are starting to figure it out. It's not about the gender, it's about being able to manage and handle the responsibility of being an athletic director.
It's like chalk talk, and you get together, you share your experiences, the successful ones, the ones that weren't so successful, and that's how you get better. Everything's slow in progress, and softball was one of the last ones to be added. Look back, and now all these girls that have been playing since 1993, they're getting to play the sport and represent their school that they love. And everything's progressive, and it takes time.
I went to middle school, and that was it. And then I went back to where I graduated from Burbank High School in San Antonio. I was there for 6 years as a head coach.
If people take interest and if they follow the sport and we expose people to what women's sports is about, then we can grow it. We saw that with the College World Series in softball. It had more viewers than even the men's College World Series.
Prohibits federally funded educational institutions from discriminating against students or employees based on sex. Okay, y'all have heard that. We've all had this in education. It must provide fair and equal treatment of the sexes in all areas, including athletics. We have two categories here: people that experienced this prior to 1972, and then people that experienced it, their careers didn't start till well after 1972. There were no athletic scholarships for women, okay? 1972, no scholarships. I don't know about y'all, but I got the benefit of a scholarship.
In a small town, they hired 2 or 3 football coaches. And I think they threw straws, and the long straw drove the bus, and the short straw coached girls basketball.
I think people need to stop looking at it as a male-female thing. When you're hiring for an athletic administrator, an athletic director, assistant director, you look at the job qualifications. Is the person qualified for the position? The salaries should be balanced. You don't make salaries based on the gender, or you base it on the experience.
I went to Sam Houston, and at least you had vans to go in. One of the criteria to make the team at Sam Houston was if you had a car, because we were going to use your car to go to the games. So it was that kind of experience.
What I can do to help to keep that ball rolling. Even not too long ago, I've only been in this position 1 month, and I had an opportunity to send up our girls softball team on a yellow dog or on a charter. And hearing them talk about transportation, I'm glad I chose a charter. And it now just validates, what I was thinking at the time.
Building your toolbox. For females, we have to make sure that you're prepared to apply for those jobs. You can't just expect to get a job because you're a female and they can check the box they hired a female. You have to be qualified, so you have to do the work if that's exactly what your goal is to be an athletic director.
The optics of having women being able to manage a family, being able to manage their children, and be a coach is possible.
I wish there was no box to check. I'm Hispanic, I'm female. To me, I wish there was no names and no photos and no boxes to check on a resume, because I want to hire the qualified candidate.
These discussions have to continue.
We need visibility, and it's always hard. Well, is it the chicken or the egg? If people take interest and if they follow the sport and we expose people to what women's sports is about, then we can grow it. I think we saw that with the College World Series in softball. It had more viewers than even the men's College World Series. So getting the product out there and letting people see how committed and how talented young women are, I think that's the task at hand, and we're getting there. It's not as fast as we would like, but there is progress being made.
It's about the things that were said. It's those are things that I've thought about, but actually saying them out loud to people, it made a lot more sense to me. Like basically building your toolbox. For females, we have to make sure that you're prepared to apply for those jobs. You can't just expect to get a job because you're a female and they can check the box they hired a female. You have to be qualified, so you have to do the work if that's exactly what your goal is to be an athletic director.
Jody Conradt talk about, just some of the challenges and the contentious relationships among men and women, as Title IX changed things. But you fast forward to now and you say it was worth it all because it's benefited kids, it's ultimately benefited women's athletics.
Reporting from San Antonio, I'm Greg Sherman.